Today we have something a little bit different, the Roland FR-1XB. Stick around. Hi, my name is Jose Macias, and today we are at Alamo Music in downtown San Antonio, Texas. If you have any questions on anything you see here, please visit alamomusic.com. Today we have something a little bit different, and since I'm a bit out of my comfort zone and out of my wheelhouse, I invited a guest. And today we have J.J. Olivares, great musician, great accordion player out of Austin, Texas.
Thank you, sir.
He has been gracious enough to visit us here at Alamo Music, and to grace us also with his talents. And here today we're reviewing the Roland FR-1XB. And I say that I'm out of my comfort zone because normally my reviews have been on acoustic diatonic accordions, and today we have none of those. We have a chromatic, which electric accordion made by Roland. And like I said, this is completely out of my comfort zone, so we have JJ here to kind of guide us through. And have you played one of these before?
This was my first time trying one out. I am an acoustic diatonic player, but I do also play a little bit of chromatic as well. So yeah, I'm going to try it out a little bit. I've actually always wanted to try one of these. I'm a fan of Roland, you know, makers of course, the great 808, and it's a great design. It's always looked great. Now being up close to it, seeing different things here.
Right. I mean, let's start up here, right? Let's start with like the buttons, right? Okay, so we have the typical chromatic sort of setup.
Right. Step, if you will.
You have the sort
of stepped fingerboard here.
You have the step fingerboard,
the
right?
Layered fingerboard for.
And if you can tell, well, it's entirely made of plastic. So we'll start with that too, right? And here you have what on a normal acoustic we would have are registers, right? And so, like I'm saying, we just opened this out of the box. We're like sort of still like astonished and wondering what's going on here. And we kind of messed with it maybe a little bit before. We haven't quite played it yet, but we're just kind of fumbling around through it. And these correspond. It says classic, it says jazz, it says world, it says user.
They're also numbered 1 through 4.
They're numbered 1 through 4.
Right.
And I'm seeing those are like different tunings and different styles, the way it would be like with an acoustic, right? So sort of the same deal. And then, but this has so much more. I mean, this has a USB for a little memory card. Free bass, it allows you to sort of readjust the bass figurations over here. There's just so much going on compared to the point where, I'm going to be honest, it might make somebody who plays an acoustic a little bit uncomfortable.
Right.
Because we're normally we just take it out of the box.
Play it.
And we're playing. No, this one you got to plug it in. You have to set it up.
I do notice also that it says ensemble, brass, wind, and piano guitar. So I suppose that probably corresponds to maybe the sounds, the banks that they have. If you are familiar with many of the keyboards, on top they do have different, I guess you could say, settings, different types.
Yeah.
And I suppose this probably corresponds to that, as well as an octave up and down metron. So I guess probably maybe a feature for a metronome, maybe playable metronome, and dual solos. So of course maybe recordable things. Lots of buttons here.
Right. There's a lot of working parts,
and they're not on the fingerboard.
These buttons
Yes,
are extra buttons that, like I said, like somebody who plays acoustic, this might be a bit intimidating, but
Different.
Definitely different. And I will say, I do own the diatonic version of this, and a lot of this stuff is really the same, like the different, like the world settings and the brass and the ensemble. So yeah, there's like it has its own like memory bank, right? But yet you can also, I know it has like a MIDI setup over here, so you can plug it into other.
It does, USB, different kind of connections. We do have this connected for when we play.
Yeah, kind of good to an amp.
Yeah, output to mono left, right, phone. So it looks like there must be maybe like a headphone jack, I guess, for maybe if you're practicing by yourself, just to be able to just hear it by yourself. I also noticed there's this this blue teal set register shift. I don't really know what it does.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, there's, like I said, we've just sort of opened this up,
Right.
and we're still discovering it. So
Looks interesting though.
yeah, but it's got a world of features that still need to be discovered by
Right.
ourselves. I'm sure there are people who own these who can maybe give us even more info that we're giving now, but we're here just to review this and to kind of see what we think about it as acoustic players and how it kind of how it sort of goes into playing in this is an electronic instrument, right?
Well, yeah. That being said, us as acoustic accordion players, I guess we forgot to mention as well. It also does require this DC input cord. There also is a feature back here for 8 batteries. It looks like.
Yeah. So in case,
batteries.
so in case you don't want to be plugged up, right, or you're hindered by the cord.
Or on the go like us at a gig maybe where you're not able to plug in. You're just playing there in the front of the mic.
Yeah, there's options for battery, so we can go
Definitely.
wireless. Basically,
Right,
is
right.
kind of what it's saying.
Right.
And like here, let's sort of like the way we do it on the other reviews. We'll move on to like the bellows, and if we notice here, there's the bellow maybe looks a little smaller. Like there's not like the folds aren't as much as maybe like an acoustic.
True. Yes, sir.
Might seem like
Looks
that.
smaller.
It does, doesn't it?
A bit wider. A bit
Right.
bit wider as well, but not too bad.
See, and then here we have the bass side, and then we have an adjustable bass strap, as we see here, and then we have the air button right there. But like I mentioned, this is, or like we've mentioned, this is an electronic instrument, so there are no reeds or reed blocks as you would find. I'm guessing what you would find in there is a bunch of like wires and sort of just electronic stuff that I'm not going to open up this one. But yes,
Right.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
technician.
Yeah, this is
technician necessary.
Yeah, this one would be for the techs to mess with.
And then as you can see here, we're just testing the air here on this bellow, just to kind of see the pressure there.
Right, like from being an acoustic player, you would there's a bit of a loss of compression, right?
Right.
So those are just some things that don't translate from acoustic to the electronic. But like I say, maybe this isn't the thing for
Right.
you if you're playing live, but and I keep saying please excuse me. But if you are in the studio, this would be an awesome tool.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You can already tell.
Now that we've talked about it, let's give it a listen. So, JJ, have at it. Well, JJ, you played it. Now, what do you think?
So let me say right off the bat, honestly,
Yeah, be honest. Yes, that's
definitely,
what we're looking
definitely. Honestly, if you're playing live, this may not be what you're looking for. This is definitely going to be very studio heavy. A lot of what I do notice is that there is a lot of capability within this box. There is still a good amount of buttons here that I didn't understand, but it does come with a manual. There is a website, so there is ways around that. As we did say earlier, it's definitely a technician type box. I do notice with these buttons here on this fingerboard, it looked like they're just straight on there, whereas we're used to just maintaining our own boxes.
Yeah.
From the folk
you're right.
musician perspective, maybe it's not going to be what you're used to. Let's put it that way. It is going to require a technician. It is seems to be a little bit more delicate in that perspective.
It is absolutely out of the, and I've said it and I'll say it again, absolutely out of the comfort zone of a traditional acoustic player.
Right.
And you did mention it would be a little difficult playing live. And what were some of the reasons why you would say?
We actually looked at this earlier too. What we're used to as acoustic accordion players, kind of a tight bellow. We get a leak.
Like that sort of
you go
compression,
talk to
right?
your guy immediately. Hey man, what's going on with my box? I'm leaking air. You know, I'm not getting that punch. It's
tired. My arm's getting tired.
Right,
whatever,
my arm's getting tired. Now this one kind of has that leak. Now it is to be understood that this is set up on a chromatic.
Yes.
A chromatic approach, a chromatic basis.
Absolutely.
So you are getting that same note going in and out.
Yeah.
So
you can go.
you know, yeah, but I do
not-
know
yeah.
you're not really in total control of your sustain on some of those. I can't really say artificial notes because they're electronic, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
So you're not really
You're right.
in full control of that. What you could say that.
It would take some adjustment, is what we're saying.
Right,
Right.
some adjustment there. Definitely still possible.
Oh, yeah.
There's the most things that I can say is that there's a lot of possibility in this box.
Oh yeah, no, but absolutely right. I can see where maybe live it would maybe be a lot of moving parts, right?
Right.
But if you're in the studio and you have time and you have the space and it's just kind of you, and you have time to go through all the settings and all the buttons and maybe even use the MIDI and put the memory bank. You have time to utilize.
Oh, there's
all of its
kinds of
capability. Yeah.
sounds.
Yep.
And I imagine
would
with
say
this
so.
MIDI approach and this USB memory, you can probably put more sounds in here and maybe sample some of your own boxes if you already have.
Absolutely.
If you already have that capability, maybe.
I never even thought of that. but
Yeah, I
absolutely.
do suppose there is an adapter only for Roland thing here, and maybe that also would pertain to maybe being able to maybe make your own adjustments to the fingerboard, note-wise or maybe sound-wise, things like that, because it is a Roland.
Yeah,
we do have to
absolutely.
think about it from the keyboard perspective. From
Absolutely.
The, you know,
We cannot lose that because it is absolutely an electronic instrument. It is a keyboard. Everything a keyboard is just in the style and
Right, in the style of a chromatic
chromatic.
button accordion. And it is to be mentioned, these are available, as well as I understand, in a piano,
They are available in piano and also in two colors, black and white.
black and white.
I have seen them in red, but
Right.
that was a few years back. So I know if you buy them new now,
Very inviting to us accordion players.
very
Color
inviting. Red, very, it's very comforting.
Gotta love it.
Yes,
Gotta
very
love it.
comforting. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah,
And that's also not, I mean, as well as learning these banks, it's not within the realm of possibility to definitely be able to use it on a live gig.
Absolutely.
After knowing, but it's definitely one of those instruments that if you're gonna use those sounds, you're gonna need to know how to navigate them quick and on the fly in the
Absolutely.
live,
And in between songs, right? Let's say
Right, between
live and
songs.
on stage and
Right.
during the live performance. So
Right.
now that we've played, now that we reviewed the Roland FR-1X, what are your thoughts? Leave us a comment. And while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure to visit alamomusic.com. My name is Jose Macias. This is JJ Olivares. Thank you for being here.
It was a pleasure.
See y'all next time.